So this video is going to be a little interesting because it's not really like a top 10 video. It's not even 10. It's just, if you haven't noticed, I really like Warhammer, if it hasn't been obvious enough as of late. So I kind of thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about, like, instead of my 10 favorite characters, or even like top 10, I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about like my 12 favorite characters in Warhammer. Now keep in mind, I'm still always learning about Warhammer. There's a lot. There is a fucking lot about Warhammer that even I don't know. But I thought it'd be really cool to talk about, you know, what are some characters I really like, and characters I really like to gravitate towards. And I thought it'd be kind of fun, rather than just 10 favorite, I was like, you know what, let's do 12. Because 12's a big number. It's bigger than 10. Why not? Anyway, so some of you guys already know, if you've been here on this channel long enough, you probably know what characters I do like, what characters are my favorites. You already know my favorite of all time, and I'm going to mention it. Now, a couple things. This isn't like a rankings list. This isn't even like a top 12. These are just 12 characters I like. There's no ranking. If you think a character should be on here or not, that's totally fine. I'm always excited to hear what are your favorite characters, especially from all the Warhammer veterans that have been coming on this channel. I'm always excited to hear why you like it. Like, what are your favorite characters? Why are they your favorite characters? I'm always excited to hear that. So these are just my personal favorite characters, and I might do this list in like months or like a year or two from now, and this list may be totally different once I've learned more about the lore. So let's talk about my 12 favorite characters. Again, and yes, I did write them down because God knows I wouldn't be able to remember them all off the top of my head. It's just how my memory works. If you guys know me enough, you probably already know that this is my all-time favorite character, Trazyn the Infinite. Trazyn the Infinite is like if you gave Brainiac the brain of Herbert West from the Reanimator. He's this snarky asshole of a character, but he does like have some kind of morals. Remember, he did help in the Battle of the Battle of Cadia that would become the Fall of Cadia. He's also like interesting in that he's one of the Necrons that like understands that like we would go fucking insane if we don't have hobbies. And he does, on a level, want to believe that he's doing the right thing of, like, preserving the history of the universe. So he's trying to do, like, the right thing in that. So that's what I like, is that he's just basically, like, I'm doing this, on one hand, to preserve history, but on the other, he's just like, hey, this is a hobby, man. I don't know what to do. I also really like that I like that he has this snarky attitude to him, and he doesn't there are times where he doesn't even take himself seriously. I really love this character. He's definitely like a bright spot in the Warhammer universe. Speaking of bright spots, let's talk about our next character, Caiaphas Cain. Caiaphas Cain is just fun. That's all you could say. Whenever I read a Caiaphas Cain novel, all I can think is, and I've said this before, is that all I can think is like Bruce Campbell's voice coming out of that character. Like Bruce Campbell is like the only person I can imagine as Caiaphas Cain. This guy who is like an absolute coward, but like he has to go through the worst situations, and he's trying to always get out of these situations, but just ends up fighting his way through stuff. I love his back and forth with other characters like Amberly Vale or like Jurgen, and you know, all the other adventures he goes on. So I've always enjoyed that with his character, is like, even though he is a cowardly little shit, he has like he does like suck it up and keep fighting. And at the same time, it's like, again, he's the closest you'll ever get to like having Ash from Evil Dead in the Warhammer universe. So that's what I like about him. Next up is Vulcan. Now, I will admit that there were, like, this video isn't going to be filled with Primarchs. But Vulcan was a character I really enjoy. Yes, we'll get out the way that, yes, he did burn Eldar children. Let's get that out of the way. But the reason why I really like Vulcan as probably my favorite of the Primarchs, I will say that, like, Lionel Johnson is probably my second favorite. If you want to talk about, like, favorite Primarchs, I would definitely say... And I'm saying by let me rephrase by saying loyalist Primarchs. Let me rephrase that real quick. In terms of like loyalist Primarchs, it would be Vulcan, then Lionel Johnson. No disrespect to Rabute, to Gilliman. He's all right. He's fun. I like him. But I would say like maybe I'd say here's how I think the top 3 go: Vulcan, Lionel, Gilliman. But I digress. So let's get back to Vulcan. Vulcan was a character I always like kind of gravitated towards because like unlike the other Primarchs who were very much like, oh, for the Emperor, and like, you know, humanity is just like, oh, they're servants and whatnot, although you can make the argument that Rabute and Leman Russ and even Jagatai and had more care for it. Vulcan always cared about humanity first, and you see that imprinted through him with the Salamanders themselves. That's my favorite. That's my favorite Space Marine Legion is the Salamanders. But I've always enjoyed their character, and Vulcan is this. He's definitely like a character who I would say invokes the most humanity out of all the characters. Although you could make the argument Sanguinius too, but that's not the point here. Alright, so there you go. Next up, Gazgathal. Gazgathal is just fun. He's just a fun character. The orcs themselves are a lot of fun, although I have mentioned before that the Necrons are my favorite faction. Gazgathal is just this big brute, just a head on a robot body, destroying shit left and right, and, you know, just bringing out the best or the worst, depending on who you ask, of the orcs. And, you know, always up for a good crump with the boys. Gazgathal and the orcs themselves are just fun characters. And I think, like, the best thing about the orcs and Gazgathal himself is that he's the closest the orcs have to, like, a great uniter. You know, he's there like Abaddon or, you know, Rabute. And even he's like, meh, I just like fighting. You know, I love a good crump. So, there you go. Next up is a fascinating one, because next up we're going to talk about is the Swarm Lord. Of course, the Tyranid Swarm Lord. Now, yes, depending on who you ask, it's like, which Swarm Lord? There's only one Swarm Lord when it comes down to it. The Swarm Lord, I just like on the rule of he's terrifying. The reason why I think I've thought about it is, like, why I like the Swarm Lord so much is because he reminds me so much of General Grievous from Star Wars. And I'm not talking, like, Revenge of the Sith Grievous or, Dave Filoni era Clone Wars Grievous. I'm talking like, I'm coming at you and I'm coming to kill you, Gennady Tartakovsky 2003 Star Wars series Grievous. The idea that that the Swarm Lord is just a nightmare. He's coming at you no matter what. And if you kill him, congratulations, he's just going to come back and realize, oh, now I'll remember how you killed me, so you won't be able to do that shit to me again. He's essentially, I know Tyranids aren't really immortal, but like, it's kind of, it's almost like that, but not, if that made any sense. So yeah, the Swarm Lord, also the design is just cool. I really love the design of the Swarm Lord. Yeah. Next up, we have Yvraine. Yvraine, definitely a character who's a lot more complex than the memes would make you believe, where she's just kind of the Rabute, Rabute is getting reboot booty. That joke sounded way better in my head. A lot of people would, just from the memes, if you just went by the memes, people would just make you think that, like, Yvraine is the Gilliman's side piece, but she's a lot more complex than that, and I really like that, like, the ends justify the means for her, and also that she is a capable warrior, she's dangerous, and probably the only real threat to Slaanesh when you think about it. I really dig her as a character, and I wish they would do more with her, right? And also kind of like, move past, like, not to say like I don't hate the Rabute x Yvraine memes. I enjoy them a lot. I just wish they would do more with her character, because it's got a lot of things with with Games Workshop on a whole, is that a lot of characters feel like they're in park and we're not doing anything with them. Anyway, and again, yes, I have a list. Because again, I would forget them. Next up, Dante, the chapter master of the Blood Angels. Dante is a very complex character. This guy is immortal and he has lived through so much shit. He has lived through the fall of Baal to the Tyranids. He has been emotionally destroyed in battle. He has watched his brothers die left and right, and he keeps going in the name of Sanguinius. And he's also encountered, again, he wears a death mask of that was given to him by another character we'll talk about in a bit. Dante is a very, again, he's complex. He's also, a great representation of what the blood angels are. You know, these warriors who have gone through so much pain in the name of Sanguinius and keep continuing the fight, no matter what pain they are inflicted on or inflict on themselves through the blood hunger. I know it's not what it's called, but I couldn't remember the exact word for it, so I apologize. Next up, Amberly Vale. Amberly Vale is a great character and a great foil for Caiaphas. She's this serious, no-nonsense Inquisitor, and again, I don't really like a lot. The Inquisitor characters are not. A lot of them are not interesting. I know there's a few that do have great character arcs to them, and there are other Inquisitor characters. Remember, I'm still learning about Warhammer. So if anyone knows some other really good Inquisitor characters, please let me know in the comments below. But Amberly Vale is again a great foil and a great love interest for Caiaphas too. But she's also this very capable, very strong-willed, and very much different and a lot different from the typical Inquisitors. She always has the right thing to say, and also I love how her back and forths are with Caiaphas. I just love those back and forths with her between her and Caiaphas. Anyway, next up we have Archmagos Belisarius Cull. Belisarius Cull was a character I had to warm up to. At first I was like, man, he's just weird looking. And again, the look was very striking, but at the same time, I was like, he looks cool, but his whole thing of just being another scientist, neat. But then I read more about him and learned more about him. And was like, damn, he's really cool. Over 10,000 years old, he's lost a lot of his own memories, and he's also created the Primaris Space Marines. And he's also the only person in the fucking Imperium that wants to advance the rest of the race. So, and also he's also very smarmy. I love how his superiority, but at the same time, and he's worded it best: if I'm a monster, then I'm a monster on the right side of history. I love how he can be arrogant, but also he knows how smart he knows he's the smartest guy in the room, and at the same time he's always like, if I don't do this, we're fucked. And I don't care if they burn me as a heretic, but God Emperor, damn it, I am going to do this. So yeah. So following that, we have the Silent King. The Silent King, there isn't a lot with the Silent King, and also I will say for an added bonus, I'd add Emotech, the Stormlord. But the reason why I have the Silent King here is because I've never met a character who has invoked so much terror of other races, but also has invoked this level of sympathy and you feel bad for him, because even he realizes the whole shit with the Deceiver and the Catan on the whole, and damning his race to the life of the Necrons. It really fucked with him, and he just went into exile after giving his people free will again. And also, he was kind of the guy who was like, oh, those bugs? Oh, no. Guys, wake up, guys, it's bad. It's so bad. Yeah. And I like to believe that his whole story of, being friends with Sanguinius was real, so. Anyway. Now we come to a total bastard of a human being that everyone loves. Fabius motherfucking Bile. Fabius Bile is the closest you will get to Shockwave from Transformers in Warhammer 40k. This guy has proven that he does not care about the gods, he doesn't care about chaos, he cares about his work, and he takes great pride in his work no matter who he kills and who he torments. He's such a deliciously evil bastard, you can't help but, like, enjoy every time he's like, you see him. He's a lot of fun, but at the same time, as much as you, like to see him and how he handles other characters, especially, like, the Chaos Gods, it's fascinating that how much you can hate a character, but love to hate him. Anyway, and to finish this whole, like, this top 12, whatever, not list thing, Angron. My favorite of the Traitor Primarchs. Angron, I used to think was just nothing but angry and nothing else. But after reading his book, as well as learning more about him, this dude is the most destroyed character. Like, all the Traitor Primarchs, like, I see why, except Fulgrim, I'm like, you kind of fell for, like, the dumbest reason. That's just me, though. If you like Fulgrim, that's fine. Everyone had, like, a valid reason to join Horus in the Horus Heresy and commit to chaos. Even Lorgar. I know a lot of people don't... And also, fuck Erebus. I think that's all... We can all agree that Erebus can go fuck himself. But, like, even Lorgar, I give a lot of credit to because of, like, as much as a shitty person Lorgar is, I do, like, see where he's coming from, especially after what happened with Monarchia. But getting back to Angron, Angron's probably the saddest for who fell to chaos, because this dude had a bad rap from the get-go, from a young age, getting the butcher's nails, getting robbed of his vengeance by his father, and falling to chaos in all of that. And even, like, when he killed most of his sons of the World Eaters. I was also tempted, like, as a side note, I'd also add Karn in here, because Karn went through some shit too. Like, man, Karn really went through some shit too to become Karn the Betrayer. But anyway, so yeah, Angron I used to think was just big dumb, red guy. No, he's actually pretty tragic, and I feel really bad for him, honestly. Even before he fell to chaos. So there you go. A lot more for a big angry red guy. He's pretty complex. So there you go, guys. Those are my 12 favorite Warhammer characters. Who knows? Maybe I'll do a list in this in months from now, or even years from now, where the list will be completely different because I'll be fully immersed in more of Warhammer. But you guys tell me in the comments below, what are some of your all-time favorite Warhammer characters and why? Just comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.